me. I was floating in the void, not a single thing in sight, not a single speck of light, pure darkness, darker than any other. There wasn't even sound here. No sound, no light, no smell. It felt like I was stuck in the world's most hellish sensory deprivation chamber. My own thoughts were so loud that it was deafening. I couldn't see my own body. I did not even know if my eyes were open or not. I couldn't feel time. I couldn't feel ground either. Did I even have a body? One might think that floating around in space would be fun. If someone like that exists, then bring me that motherfucker and I will shove my foot so far up their ass they'll be reclassified as a shoe. I couldn't even talk out loud to entertain myself here. There was no matter for sound to travel. Hell, I didn't even know if I was doing the right motions to produce sound. I felt my grasp over my own body start fading. I took it all for granted. All of my senses, no hot, no cold. This felt worse than the worst of tortures. I would rather an ugly bastard rip off my fingers and toes instead of being here. I don't know how long I have been here. 1 second, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, a decade, a century, a millennium, an eon. Eventually my confusion and fear faded into anger. Why should I be the one to experience this hell? I didn't deserve this. I should have done everything right. I struggled so much, went through so much, yet this is my reward? An eternal hell worse than any other? Why don't the ones who jumped me get this treatment? Unfair. It's so fucking unfair. I don't deserve this. I kept playing by the books. After my parents died I thought I didn't deserve to live the life my mother had died to save. I tried everything I could to make myself feel better. I volunteered at shelters even though I had so little. I studied so hard to make my late mother proud. I wasn't gifted but I wasn't stupid either. Yet it seemed like the true stupidity was trying so hard. All my life I had been kicked down. Whenever I tried to get up I was kicked down once again. Whatever I tried to do I was spat on and trampled upon. I should have been in the right. The moral high ground so to speak. Whatever happened I tried to take the high road. Man, I wonder where that got me? Life decided to spit on me one last time before stomping on my hypothetical cock and balls by throwing me into this void. I am fairly certain that the only thing keeping me even an iota sane here is my sheer anger and indignation. It is the only thing that let me cling to my ego and memories. Why had all of this happened to me? Because reality is unfair. I know why. Because I was weak. Weak. It doesn't matter if you are right. It doesn't matter if you are correct. It doesn't matter if you have the moral high ground. It doesn't matter if you are reasonable. They all mean nothing in front of power. In the first place, those concepts only exist because an omnipotent being said they did. All of those mean nothing when someone stronger than you can just crush you and take everything you held dear. Your morals won't do anything for you. Power is all that matters. You can work as hard as you possibly can toward your goal and someone stronger can just pry it out of your hands and you won't be able to do anything about it. Nothing matters if you don't have the power to protect it. As ridiculous as it seems. If I was strong enough I could have turned the ones that killed me into nothing more than minced meat. If I wasn't so weak I wouldn't be stuck here and the assholes that killed me wouldn't be free instead of me. Power. It's all that matters. You have awakened the gamer system. After so long something had appeared in front of my eyes. It took me a bit for my eyes to register the words written on it, but when I did I couldn't help but laugh madly in my mind. It wasn't all in vain after all. This may just be the second chance I had been desperately looking for. New game? Yes? No? Thanks for the choice but I think I will go with yes. Initializing. Tutorial start. Please choose a race. 1. Human. More like choosing the race goddamn. I don't even get the choice to throw away my humanity for power. What a game. I won't complain much for now though. At least I want to know what I'm getting into. Could you elaborate on the human race? Hopefully, this thing was smart. Race, human. A weak race that is considered as the jack of all trades, mediocre at all. The only thing that makes them worth anything is their adaptability and acceptable virility. Stat values. 1 vitality equals 10 horsepower. I don't know exactly how bad that is since I don't really know the stat values of other races, but from what this system is telling me, it must be barely mediocre. How come I can't start as a different race? Insufficient achievements. Damn, honestly it sucks that I can't trade away my humanity for a better race. One might ask why I would be so willing to part with my humanity, but honestly, I'm at a point in my life where I am willing to trade away my humanity for $5 and a can of Pepsi. Well, I can't do anything about it right now. Besides it isn't too horrible with that 25% skill acquisition rate. That sounds like a rather decent starting perk. Shrugging my shoulders I pick the human option. Please select a class. Fighter, Ranger, Magician, Rogue, Production. This is quite difficult, although I don't know exactly what the classes do. By going over basic game terminology I can probably make some at least reasonable assumptions. After some mulling over I eliminated Ranger and Rogue. Since there is a magician option here I can infer that wherever this place sends me will probably have magic as well. And I do not want to be the guy that brings a pistol to a spell fight. Plus I was never really a bow and arrow type of guy. Next up is Rogue. It is out because the concept of a rogue is unreliable. While I really don't want to die, I also do not want to avoid death by just hiding away in a distant dark corner of the world. Plus they usually have low survivability. I'll pass. Next one down is production. While forging Excalibur might sound very cool in theory, it really won't be when some powerful guy comes knocking on your door for the Excalibur you just forged. It is just begging for attention you can't defend yourself from. Now, I am stuck between mage and fighter. On one hand, I have read enough Witcher novels to know potentially how powerful a fighter could be. I don't know what kind of game this is, but fighter is almost always the universally safe choice. Always reliable. Most of the time you won't regret choosing it. On the other hand, mage possesses variety, flexibility, and utility that usually far eclipsing the fighters. With many branches of magic with tons of different effects, a mage can basically specialize in anything while also possessing many tricks up their sleeve. After hard contemplation, I decided on mage. After all, in most games I played I picked mage whenever I could, so I am more used to playing games as a mage. Hopefully, the experience will carry over. But there was a bigger reason I picked mage. The variety offered to me was unbelievable. And the mage, with enough investment, can do what the other classes do to a lesser extent depending on the branch they specialize in. Hopefully, my game knowledge will be applicable here. With a bated breath, I picked the magician option. Confirmed. Picking a random magician class. Wait a fucking second. I don't even get to choose psi. Hopefully this thing doesn't screw me over. You have acquired the class, sorcerer. Thank fuck. For a second I was afraid that I would get a class like Grassmancer or something stupid like that. But sorcerer, huh? If we are going by D&D standards, that class should mean that I have a special bloodline or gift that lets me cast magic. Or if this is taking the general definition of a sorcerer, then it could either be talking about mages who mainly rely on elemental spells or mages that usually rely on themselves rather than wands or incantations. Either case is really good for me. But before I could ask the system for further info, it continued. Initiating reincarnation. Good luck. With that, what little consciousness I had managed to hold onto had slipped from my grasp as the panel in front of me faded to black. You can read up to 10 chapters ahead on this fic and the other ones I write on my Patreon at P Bronze deck. Just replace the with an A. As my